Up, that'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Oh, man, and the 6'10" frame of Capella. I mean, when he's close inside, he's a huge threat to put the ball in the bucket.
Bielitsa, he checks in for Taj Gibson. And, Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
Harden's shot is good.
But you got to D up Harden from the perimeter early. I mean, if you don't, he will make you pay dearly.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Pass to Paul. Inside. Trying to find Capella. Gets it to him. The shot's good.
And Capella is very efficient down deep, using his muscle to get off the shots he wants inside.
Out to the wing. Kept alive. Pass to Bielitsa. Here's Butler. No good, unable to end this run.
That defense is as good as a block. I mean, what looks to be a layup turns into nothing.
And Harden wide open. He shoots. His second miss, now 2 of 4 on the game. Right side, Butler. Here's Wiggins. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And it's 7 points for Andrew Wiggins.
And you can see that Butler is the total package. Solid at recognizing when one of his guys is open.
They lean on him for a big portion of their scoring with a good reason.
And some nice passing there by Houston. It's Harden with the drive. That one off the back iron and out. Pass to Towns. There's the dish to Wiggins. Stolen by Anderson. The feed to Ariza. Back to Harden. And he banks in the layup. Harden's got 7 points.
Really like seeing Harden take it strong inside. So crafty in how he finishes near the bucket.
Dishes it to Butler. And Bielitsa kicks to T. Feeds it to Towns. Shot clock at 5. Here's the 3. Bielitsa misses. Harden dishes to Paul. The pass to Ariza. To the paint. Here's Capella. Towns with the defensive effort. Kicks to Wiggins. And Bielitsa has it in the corner. Outside Teague. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Houston on top, leading by 3. And up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And when you consider how the Rockets are doing, guys, what are your thoughts?
They've gotten that perimeter game going in that first, and for me, that was the difference.
Well, and not only in terms of building the lead, but now the defense has to extend itself. That leads to other opportunities.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. And so in the game for the Rockets. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. And it's Capella in the 5 spot. Crawford left side. Shoots from the corner. Good. Crawford's got the opening basket here in the second quarter for Minnesota. And Chris, I know you've been executive producing and hosting various TV shows. You had a great NBA career, obviously, and it seems like you continue to find success. How's that been for you?
Well, I try to take the same lessons I learned in sports. You know, when I first got to Golden State, the first man I searched out was Chris Mullin and found out all of his habits and stole all of his knowledge, and I tried to take that and move forward. And I try to do the same in other areas. I try to work with the best. I try to learn, work hard, work my way up the rookie ladder and see what happens. And so I've just aligned myself with some really great people, some wonderful thinkers and hard workers, and hopefully it'll continue to have fun like I am doing. So it's been a great ride.
You're always learning, right? You never stop learning.
Man, come on. It's not just about a school or a class or one mentor. It's about everyday learning so that you can kind of learn and put people's knowledge with your unique sense of self and make it work. Why not learn on someone else's dime? Why go through life making mistakes when other people can kind of let you know, wait, I did this, you want to think about that, and kind of just put your own playbook together.
Houston leading by 7. Anderson passes to Capella. Towns comes with a double team. Harden kicks to Paul. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. Timeout called, first of the game for Minnesota.
And not surprising, obviously unhappy with the lack of response from his team.
Well, the pace right now, that's being dictated to them. They have to try to get it back to their tempo, to their style of game.
Well, Chris Paul signing the big contract this past offseason, and you knew he'd end up with one of the biggest deals out there, and his impact on a team goes far beyond just stats.
Here's Wiggins. And Wiggins throws it down.
He just punched the ticket on that one. That'll get the job done.
Powerful two-hand jam. Well, Greg, Houston wanted Chris Paul, and they got their man. One of the bigger surprises, certainly, of the offseason.
Yeah, and without Paul on this roster, this team isn't in the conversation for winning. You need him to keep your window of winning open, and he is just that impactful and makes everyone on the floor better.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball operations Tom Thibodeau says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything.
And still varying opinions out there of what Andrew Wiggins can and can't do. But one thing that's indisputable, he's an incredible scorer. Whether it's half-court transition, he can flat out fill it up in a hurry.
Harden again. Well, here's the screen. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And Wiggins, his young career, just getting better and better at scoring, Greg, while increasing his workload.
Yeah, and very few scorers can do that, especially from that 2-guard spot. Wiggins has that special talent where he can flat out carry an offense. Scary to think that this is a kid who is just scratching the surface.
Back to Bielitsa. Wiggins outside. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. The Rockets have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Harden Gets to Ariza. Another miss by Houston. The Timberwolves have gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far.
I don't care who it is. You can't leave him wide open from that range.
Harden dishes to Capella. Paul with the ball. And Crawford picks him up defensively. Ariza goes in. Capella kicks to Harden. 4 on the clock. To the left wing. Here's Wiggins. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That's foul number 2 for him. 1:30 left in the first half. Anderson outside. Lock at 6. Here's Harden on the wing.
And he has not been able to keep up that pace he had going in the first quarter.
Wants to get it to Ariza and does. And stolen by Wiggins.
And sometimes you think maybe they're just getting a little too comfortable with the lead, maybe a bit too casual this quarter.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Screen by Capella. Kicks it out to Ariza. To the inside. Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut down to just 2 points with the bucket from Capella.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position.
Harden with it. Butler covering. From deep three-point range. Another miss by Harden.
He had 1 3-pointer in the first, but still searching for that second.
Houston's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Minnesota with the rebound. Floats it up for Wiggins. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
Cheap turnover. You got to make sure your target's ready for the pass before you let it go.
And so it's Andrew Wiggins making highlights. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Minnesota in the lead. And last season, the Rockets retired Yao Ming's number for the organization, a career cut short by injuries, but he was such a huge part of the history here, and it was great to see that honor bestowed on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yao Ming, one of the largest players I've ever seen in this game. I remember having to go up against him. He was so skilled for a player his size. Had some great battles.
Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. And it's Crawford at the point guard position. So that's who Tom Thibodeau starts the second half with. Down low. Let's go. Here's Ariza. He feeds it to Capella. Here's Harden. Basket number 5 goes in. He's now 5 of 12 from the floor.
He can finish with force or finesse. The beard does it all.
Towns, the pass to Crawford. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Crawford's got 6.
And just enough wiggle room to get off his shot.
Well, when you're at a size disadvantage, sometimes the mid-range is better than inside. You get a little more space. You don't allow the shot blocker to get up on you, and also you can use your handles and your quickness.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
Back to Towns. On the wing, Wiggins. 15 points in the game. Count it.
And there's one thing that's never been in question about Wiggins, his ability to be a high-volume scorer. And in case you needed a reminder, he's giving you one tonight.
He kicks it to Crawford. And taken away by Paul. Harden outside. Wiggins with the block.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Here's Gibson. Kicks it out to Crawford. And Capella over to help. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Well, we talk about young players improving their game a lot, but Chris, which veterans in the league have impressed you with their ability to change and adapt their game as they get older?
Well, Paul Millsap, I think he's been under the radar and underrated for the last 2, 3, 4 years. He's been the best post player offensively on the post, in my opinion, and I think his game is overlooked, and he's a veteran that continually gets better. And then other guys that add different parts to their game, like Marcus Gasol, being able to step out and hit threes. He's a former defensive player of the year, being able to expand his game on the offensive end. You have to love guys that have the mentality that they can always improve like these two.
And one reason why the Rockets were okay with letting Dwight Howard leave was because they knew that Clint Capella could fill that role. He quietly gives this team that finisher down on the block, and he has been absolutely, Chris, huge for the Rockets.
Oh, yeah, maybe the best in the league at finishing off lobs last year. Not the most spectacular, but the most consistent last year on that pick and roll because he's so active without the ball. Always moving, giving guards a target, great hands to catch and finish.
Crawford dishes to Towns. Pulls it from 20. Another miss by Minnesota.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
Sometimes you get a little outside of yourself. You have to be a little more disciplined.
Crawford outside. Lets it go. Crawford missing again. Rockets trail. Anderson is screen on Butler. Harden with room to shoot. From 13 feet, it goes down. Harden's got 4 points in the quarter.
I mean, you gotta love, I love the aggressiveness of Harden on offense, just relentless, and how he constantly looks for a shot.
Wiggins. 6 to shoot. Crawford kicks to Wiggins. The rebound by Anderson. Anderson's got his 3rd rebound on the night. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player.
And some hang time on the rim. Puts a little cherry on the top of that slam.
Well, those kind of displays of strength can get one team rolling.
And the Timberwolves, a team that is evolving how you imagine they would with Tibbs running things here. Deliberate approach on both ends of the floor and really looking to dominate the rebounding margins.
Crawford with the ball. He's picked up by Paul. The Rockets have gone 5 of 7 from the free throw line in the game.
And last season, 77% from the line. They could usually get the job done there.
Wow, and the big man Capella has proven to be a reliable role player, a strong physical presence who takes smart shots and contributes well on D.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And the foul called on Jamal Crawford. That'll be his second foul of the game.
After turning the ball over just once in the first half, he has really lost control of it a number of times in the second.
Butler with the steal.
And Butler is a true leader, a guy his teammates look up to and one of the best in our game.
The Timberwolves have only one missed free throw. They've had 5 attempts and made 4 of them. And so Butler nails both of them.
And once he gets into a groove like that, you can just count him.
It's Harden with the drive. And the foul on Andrew Wiggins. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. Rockets have made 7 out of 9 when they've stepped to the line.
And really turned a weakness into a strength tonight with some excellent work at the line.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Teague's checked in.
If they increase the tempo, they got a chance at a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it's a combination of urgency and efficiency. Let's see how they execute.
Harden the pass to Capella. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. That's 12 points for Clint Capella.
And there isn't a lot that they're doing well right now defensively. They just seem to be disconnected defensively in the second.
The kick outside to Butler. Towns wide open. No good there. And so it's Houston in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. Trailing to start the quarter, they battled hard and pulled off a tremendous comeback. Now enjoying the lead. Back right after this. Just 1 quarter left in regulation. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And it's the Rockets with the ball. They lead by 8. That's the biggest of the game. 4th quarter on the court for the Rockets. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. And it's Capella in the 5. To the left side wing. Harden against Butler. Butler with the steal. A nice shot by Teague.
And Teague is just so calm and collected when he gets near the rim.
And it's Paul penetrating on the wing. Harden. And stolen by Jeff Teague. He dishes it to Wiggins. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Ariza. Bielitsa. He checks in for the Timberwolves. Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Pass to Teague. Butler is green on Capella. Back to Towns. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. A nice shot by Teague.
And you could tell Teague was looking for a shot on that play. Always had his hands up, ready to catch and fire.
Screen by Capella. They get it back. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Rockets lead by 3.
And the D not really doing its job there. A little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint.
Outside Teague. Down low. And Towns the bucket on the assist by Teague.
A good score inside, and the defense really offering very little resistance.
That's just an attack mindset. I love it. Game on the line, he's out competing guys.
And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter now. Screen by Capella. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Boy, I mean, the career Paul has had just in terms of being a great point guard, there really are no words left to describe.
Both free throws good from Paul.
And one of the surprise moves of this past offseason was Chris Paul moving to Houston, joining James Harden to become one of the strongest backcourts in our league. Kicked off a feeling that Houston would be a force this season.
Now a timeout called by Houston. And you know, Greg, many thought that Chris Paul may take a look at San Antonio, and he did, but Houston was too enticing a chance to pass up.
It's certainly a distinctive third chapter in Paul's career. He's always been criticized for not going deep in the playoffs, and saw Houston as maybe his best bet to make a deep run.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Mike D'Antoni was talking about with his team. He really got after him in the huddle. He said, look, you can rest after the game. You got to put it all out there if you want to win this one. Back to you guys.
Shot clock at 6. Here's Harden. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
Not everything fell for him in that first half, and now it looks like they're beginning to hit their stride.
It's Bielitsa. Got a piece of it. But he recovers it. Out of bounds. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. And so here is Houston. The lead is 2. Paul dishes to Capella. Passes it to Harden. Here's Ariza. Nifty move.
And his foot movement is what makes Towns such a terrific shot blocker. He moves so well and can defend just about any position on the floor.
Look at the clock. A little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. And stolen by Butler.
It had been a while since his last turnover. He has played very solid ball up until that point.
Rebounded by Capella. Rockets have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Harden right side. Screen by Capella. Harden kicks to Paul. Clock at 6. Lays it up and banks it in. Paul's got 4 points this quarter.
Just love the focus when he gets around the rim. How huge could those 2 points be?
Here's Butler. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Ariza's got 5 rebounds tonight. Screen by Capella. Paul kicks to Capella. And stolen by Wiggins. And Wiggins throws it down.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
Yeah, and he reads it all the way, has that slide court awareness you have to be mindful of.
unbelievable basket. I mean, giving up a lot of height there, but he was not to be denied.
Now, that's a gutsy take on his part to make that happen. Many would not have tried that over the larger defender.
Pass to Bialica from outside the arc. And the foul on Andrew Wiggins. That's his 4th foul of the contest. The Timberwolves making a switch here. Crawford's checked in. Screen by Capella. And here's Anderson. Harden outside. And so it looks like the Rockets will retain possession here. Just 5 to shoot. Anderson. And the rejection by Towns. Wiggins outside. There's Crawford with the 3.
And there have been some terrible shot choices here, Kev. That's not a good look at all.
Here's Wiggins. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. That's on Clint Capella.
Now, that is cold-blooded.
Well, we want people to tune in, don't we? This is what they're tuning into. Big moments.
Yeah, big play on the front end to finish, despite getting hacked there, and big on the back end to hit the free throw.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock.
And the length of Butler can be a real problem. You've got to respect his reach, and this is a guy who can block shots from the wing.
And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. Now Crawford. To the middle. It's tipped. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Ariza. Minnesota with the ball. Mba Amute with the steal. And it's Bialica with the foul. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. Good on the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 4-point ball game.
And you can wrap this one up. Great job to stay cool at the line and finish it off.